to your Poetic Interlude on the Weekend Show. My name is Emeka Ozurumba. And on this program, this sector of the program, we talk about things that vary from literary abilities to literary creativity. Today we're going to be talking about youth advocacy. What does that mean to be a youth advocate? And I have with me Daniel Kasim to discuss youth advocacy. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Emeka.
Yes.
My delight to be here.
Yeah, it's so nice to be with you because we are in a club together called the Toastmasters Club, which we'll be talking about a little. But can you give us an antecedent and a precedence of what you think youth advocacy means?
Okay, youth advocacy for me, it's a movement that seeks towards improving and developing a particular nation, Nigeria to be precise for me now, through the engagement of active key players. That's talking about the youth, them being in front run, ensuring that the growth and development of Nigeria being their personal responsibility. So the movement seeks a way of creating more awareness and ensuring that the destiny of our great nation is sustained with the youth.
Okay, so you had some things you wanted to also talk about personally about youth development. So what are those things you feel youths could do to personally develop themselves?
Well, I think before we even talk about what the youth will personally do, we have to quite take a critical look, who is a youth first of all. Now, for me, I was making some studies from the National Youth Policy report that came up for 2019 to 2023. I was made to discover that one is considered to be a youth. That is when he's between the age range of 18 to 35. You understand? Yeah. And if you are within those very particular age range, you are definitely considered to be youth. So I was asking myself, okay, what of the people that are now 36, 37, 40, are they not youth? But they are still. But from this very report, we made to understand that 18 to 35 is a youth.
Your prime aspect of
yes. And I also had to take out time to do some studies to discover what really the state of Nigerian youth are like. And I boggled on the worldometer, one of the statistics body online. I discovered that in Nigeria we have over 200 million population, and 54.7% are youth.
Yes.
I was so amazed. And that means if we're having over 200 million population, that means 151 million of our entire populace are youth. That's amazing. And I looked down on me, okay, how comes are we not getting some certain things right? Because just like the way I said earlier on, the destiny of a great nation that thrives today,
domiciled
on the youth. We have the major stake. What's really happening? So we have to quite take our time to ensure that we make this sensitization and awareness, telling the youth that there is so much power vested in them, if only and only they can
know their rights.
Okay,
so another thing I wanted to ask is, I mean, I should also be trying to say that it's not 100. Like, let me say, million of Nigerians are youth. I think Nigerians or politicians would like to think that 200% of the whole Nigerian populations are youth. Because you could clearly see a man of 68 years, 65 years, 64 years getting a youth leader position, which is an anomaly in a proper democracy. So what do you think the leaders can do to bring the youth to the front burner of policy making and making sure that there's inclusivity?
Well, that's a very beautiful question you ask. And I think there was a day I head towards the public service office, head of service to say, and I saw one man. Literally, that man is old enough to be my grandfather. So I was just wondering, what's this man really doing here? I asked a friend, and he told me that he's a staff of the Federal Civil Service. I was like, goodness, no wonder we are where we are. He's supposed to be retired. So without down on me that, okay, a lot of things could have played wrong.
He could have manipulated his age.
Falsify it. And because he don't want to get out of show because of the change he get at the end of the month, so he had to find a way. And I discovered that another thing was that the youth, you know, when you don't understand your word, what you stand for, you definitely might be misunderstood for something different. Our identity as youth have not been made purported. You understand?
Yes.
So
brought out to the fore.
True. That's to tell you that we really have a very huge work to do as youth, because our voices to an extent have not been heard. we have been tagged and seen as irresponsible to
by
an extent.
Governmental policies and
You
even government by themselves. Because I've heard them say Nigerian youths are lazy.
Lazy.
And I'm wondering if we're lazy this morning here together.
You get it?
Yes.
Personally, I think when I was growing up, I think my life basically has been a self-responsibility growth to drive, because I never had anybody to come tell me, okay, you do this, you do this.
Yes.
I had
you just knew clearly what you had to do to develop your nation.
How else would you explain? I lost my mom at a very young and tender age. I was the only child now. Okay, I actually was very vulnerable to the society at the point in time I was, but eventually I had to tell myself that I have to be intentional about my life as a youth. You understand? Yes. Now the moral and values that my mom instilled on me were really speaking for me, because I had to tell myself I really need to make a difference now. It was a personal decision. I never had anyone to encourage me, do this, do that, do that. It was my decision to make a great change. And I think I've made the vow already that I will definitely contribute my own quota to the growth.
That is so lovely, Kasim. I think I'm going to bring you on the program again. But this is so nice. I mean, talking about youth in Nigeria, what are youths? Let's define the parameters. Let's define the principles of which we call people youths and advocate for the rights of youth in our society. My lovely audience, I hope you've enjoyed watching your Poetic Interlude on the Weekend Show. I've been with my very lovely friend from the Toastmasters Club, Daniel Kasim. It's so nice to be with you. I hope you come back to be with me on the program again.
My pleasure.
Nigerians, don't go anywhere and stay tuned, because we'll have more coming up for you on